Discover how a heartwarming gift from a poor girl changed a lonely billionaire's life forever. Mia sprinted through the crowded streets, the hum of the city drowning out her racing thoughts. The sun hung high, a glaring reminder of her busy day ahead. She clutched a small box close to her chest, the contents inside the bracelet she made representing hope, resilience, and the unwavering spirit of her neighborhood. This was it. This was her chance to make a difference. All she wanted was for the lonely billionaire, Liam, to feel something, to really see her world. At 16, Mia was already working multiple jobs to support her mother. Their cramped apartment was just a stone's throw away from bustling food stands and struggling small businesses, each corner teeming with vibrant community spirit. She loved her neighborhood. It was home, but it marred her heart to watch it go unnoticed. She had made the bracelet from repurposed materials, and Mia hoped it would send a message of perseverance and love. Yet as she approached the grand mansion, her heart thumped heavily. The iron gates loomed large, a symbol of wealth that felt both inviting and intimidating. She knocked quietly, the sound swallowed by the immensity surrounding her. Liam emerged, the stark contrast of his tailored suit, sharp jawline, and aloof demeanor matched only by the lavishness of his estate. He eyed the small box suspiciously. "What's this?" he asked, an air of disinterest hanging over him. "It's a gift," she stammered. I made it. It's for your charity." As she spoke, her voice trembled ever so slightly, but she held her ground, meeting his eyes. And in that moment, Mia poured her soul into her words. She told him about her life, her mother's struggles, and the heartbeat of her community that fought to survive. This wasn't just a bracelet. It was a lifeline. A flicker of interest sparked in Liam's eyes. His defenses softened for the first time in ages. Here was a girl who faced the world with relentless determination, her dreams larger than her fears. As she shared her story, he felt the walls he'd put up to protect himself beginning to crumble. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Just as Mia began to feel an undeniable connection, her phone buzzed violently in her pocket. Her mother had collapsed hospital. The world began to tilt beneath her. The vibrant street life became a blur, the warmth of their earlier conversation overshadowed by a storm of panic. Liam noticed her distress. In one look, he could see the weight of her world pressing down on her shoulders. Without words, he knew he had to help. Both of them, forged by their circumstances, found themselves at a crossroads that could change everything. If she would fight for her neighborhood, he would use his resources to help. Together, they could save the local community center, a place that symbolized hope for many. As they planned their next steps, the tension between them was palpable. Questions hung unspoken. Would they pierce through societal divides that seemed insurmountable? And as they stood at the edge of this monumental challenge, Mia couldn't help but wonder how two vastly different lives could come together with so much at stake. Mia's heart raced as she turned away from Liam, the looming reality of her mother's condition crashing over her like an icy wave. She had never been one to drown in despair, but the urgency of the moment pressed heavy on her chest. Can I use your phone?" she asked, her voice a shaky whisper. Liam immediately sensed the gravity of the situation and nodded, fumbling for the device in his pocket. He quickly handed it to her, his demeanor shifting from detached billionaire to someone ready to bear the burden of another's pain. Mia dialed the hospital, her hands shaking slightly as she waited for the call to connect. As she held the phone to her ear, she could feel the fear coiling tightly in her stomach. The voice on the other end was calm, reassuring. After a few seconds that felt like an eternity, Mia hung up, struggling to regain her composure. She's in stable condition, she breathed, though her mind whirled with what that truly meant. But I need to get there. I can't leave her alone. Liam stepped closer, his presence solid as he placed a hand on her shoulder. I'll drive you, he said firmly. The offer surprised her, raising a flicker of hope amidst her worry. With a nod, she rushed to the entrance, her heart drumming against her ribs. When they reached the car, Mia hesitated. For a brief moment, the luxurious interior felt foreign, a world apart from her daily life. She glanced at Liam, who was already seated, his expression determined and sympathetic. With a deep breath, she slid into the passenger seat. Soon, they were flying through the streets, the city blurring by in a whirlwind of color. As they drove, the silence between them began to transform, thick with unspoken words but also a growing understanding. Liam's gaze flickered toward her, and he broke the quiet. You really care about your community, don't you? He asked, his tone softening. It's more than just a community to me, Mia replied, her voice steadier now as she opened up. It's family, friends, it's everything. If we lose the community center, we lose a part of ourselves. Liam was silent for a moment, a contemplative look crossing his face. I didn't know how much it mattered, he admitted, the words escaping him before he could catch them. I've been so focused on other things. She turned to him, seeing the weight of his own isolation reflected in his eyes. This man had wealth, but what did it really mean? Maybe it was time for both of them to reevaluate what they had been chasing. When they arrived at the hospital, Mia dashed inside, her heart racing with concern. Liam paced outside, trying to breathe in the chaotic atmosphere of the emergency room without becoming overwhelmed. For the first time, he felt an echo of the loneliness that Mia must often endure. After what felt like hours, Mia emerged, the relief on her face almost a beacon in the dimly lit corridor. She's going to be all right, she exclaimed, her smile brightening the entire space. It was a ray of sunshine breaking through his own cloud of shadows. Liam stepped forward, his heart swelling with newfound determination. We'll save that community center, he said decisively. We'll make it a place where people can come together, just like yours did. Mia blinked at him in disbelief. You mean that? I do. But first, let us go check on your mom. As they walked together toward the hospital room, both warriors bound by purpose and empathy, couldn't shake the feeling that this was only the beginning. Can two very different lives meld together to create a new path? With so much at stake, they needed to push through barriers they had never imagined crossing. What awaited them at the community center would change everything together. They would face it all. Mia opened the door to her mom's hospital room, her heart thundering in her chest. The dull scent of antiseptic hung in the air, tinged with something sweet. There, in the bed, lay her mother, nestled under crisp white sheets. A smile broke through the worry as she rushed forward, carefully taking her mother's hand. Hey, Mom, Mia whispered, her voice soft and soothing. Her mother stirred, blinking slowly as her eyes met Mia's. Mia, you're here. There was a warmth in her voice, a flicker of life in her tired smile. I was so scared, Mia admitted, her voice catching. But they said you're going to be okay. For a moment, the weight of the world lifted as she saw that spark of familiarity in her mother's eyes. As the two spoke, Liam lingered in the doorway, giving them space but unable to hide his concern. He wasn't accustomed to this kind of emotion, the rawness that gripped the moment. It struck him. This was more profound than any business deal he had ever negotiated. Before long, Mia noticed Liam waiting, his presence a quiet strength. Come in, she beckoned, her voice brightening. Liam stepped inside, not entirely sure of his place. Hi, he said, offering a genuine smile that he hoped radiated reassurance. Her mother looked him over as though assessing his character, her eyes narrowing, and then she smiled. Mia talks about you. A lot. Liam flushed. All good things, I hope. Only the best, Mia laughed, and for a moment it felt like the three of them were in their own world. Thank you for being here, her mother said gently, reaching out to take Liam's hand, an unexpected gesture that seemed to solidify their new alliance. Of course, he replied, sincerity woven through his words. As they talked, He listened to the stories that filled the room, tales of resilience, humor, and dreams. But then, Mia's focus shifted as she remembered the looming challenge ahead. We need to talk about the community center. Liam nodded, sensing her urgency. Let us talk about it now, he said, looking between Mia and her mother. Mia's been doing wonderful things there. Her mother chimed in, her voice strengthening with pride. But it's in trouble. It means everything to her. Liam leaned forward, intrigued by the depth of Mia's connection to the community. Tell me more, he urged, feeling a mix of determination and respect for everything Mia fought for. As they spoke about the community center, a fire ignited in Mia's eyes. She explained how it was the heart of the neighborhood, a place for kids to grow, for parents to bond, and for people to find strength in each other. She described the after-school programs and community dinners, the laughter that echoed through its halls. We can't let it go, Mia said fiercely. Not for us, not for any of them. Liam felt a shift within himself. It wasn't just about saving a building. It was about saving an essence, a piece of hope. What if, he suggested tentatively, we organize a fundraiser? Something big? Mia's eyebrows shot up in surprise. A fundraiser? You'd really want to do that? Why not? Let us harness that heart and passion. We can get the community involved. Make it an event they'll remember. Mia's gratitude flooded the room. That's incredible. But as excitement swelled, a new concern edged into her thoughts. But can we actually pull it off? You have the resources, but everything depends on how we reach them. Liam met her gaze, a determined look settling on his face. If it's worth saving, we'll find a way. As they spoke, ideas bouncing between them like electric sparks, Mia felt an unexpected bond forming. They were no longer just an agitation of differences but now allies in a shared cause. But the question loomed. Would their collaboration hold up as they faced the hurdles ahead? As they planned, a sense of unity built between them, yet an insecurity nagged at Mia's heart. Could they really stitch together their lives into something that would change not just the community center but the very nature of their own paths? The time passed quickly, and as they left the hospital, Mia felt lighter, energized by their plans but also aware of the journey ahead. Would their growing partnership be strong enough to tackle the walls that threatened to close in around them? Just as she began to ponder the challenges ahead, Mia's phone buzzed in her pocket, an unknown number flashing on the screen. With a sinking heart, she answered, fearing what might come next. Would this message change everything she and Liam were just beginning to build? Mia hesitated, her heart racing as she answered the call. Hello? A voice crackled on the other end, uncertain but urgent. Is this Mia? Mia Carter? Yeah, that's me. Who's this? I'm Dave. From the community center. The name sent a shiver down her spine. She had known Dave for years, a caretaker of the heart that was the center. There's been something troubling. What is it? She asked, her gut twisting. We received some notice today. They're considering selling the property. It's urgent. Panic surged through Mia. What do you mean selling? No one can do that. The center is part of who we are. I know. But if we don't act fast, we could really lose it. They're under pressure from the city council. They want to sell to developers. Mia shook her head, trying to process the news. No, we're working on a fundraiser. We can save it. Maybe. But we don't have much time. Meeting this week. You need to be there. Dave's words hung heavy in the air. She felt the ground beneath her shift, cracking open under the weight of her fears. I'll be there, she managed, her mind racing with thoughts of Liam and their plans. He would need to help with this. Mia closed the call, her knees feeling shaky. What's wrong? Liam was watching her closely, his brow furrowed with concern. They're trying to sell the community center and we don't have much time. The breath left her lungs with the admission, and she could feel the walls closing in again. Liam's expression shifted, determination hardening his features. We need to act fast. Let us meet with Dave, gather everyone we can. If we can mobilize support now, we stand a chance. She nodded, feeling the familiar spark ignite within her. But the worry still clung to her heart. But what if it's too late? What if our fundraiser isn't enough? We can't think that way, he said firmly, his hand on her shoulder lending her an ounce of strength. We need hope, and together we'll find it. As they stood there, trying to collect themselves, Mia felt a swell of gratitude for Liam, for his belief in their cause. She couldn't help but wonder if, maybe, this wasn't just about the community center anymore. The realization hit her hard. She was fighting for something larger than a building. It was about their community, their culture, their memories. But was she strong enough? Was she ready to take the next step into the unknown? Ready to lead this charge? Suddenly, her phone buzzed again. Another message from an unknown number, this time with an attachment. They looked at each other, a heavy silence settling between them. Should she open it? Her instincts screamed caution, but curiosity gnawed at her. Should I? She asked, motioning to the screen. Liam nodded, his eyes wide. We need all the information we can get. Mia took a deep breath and pressed the link. As the image loaded, her heart raced. A picture of a for sale sign posted outside the community center glared back at her. And beneath it was a date. A specific date, one that made the urgency all too real. Tomorrow. Tomorrow, she whispered, feeling a cold grip of dread settle in her stomach, and the weight of it all crashed inward. Would all her efforts be for nothing? What's the plan? We need to act fast, Liam urged, his resolve palpable and ready, as if he too felt the threat looming. But as Mia looked at him, she felt a flicker of hope when she thought about all the people who cared about the center, who would fight together like they had before. We have to rally the community. We'll announce the fundraiser sooner and get everyone involved. We'll fight this together. Absolutely, Liam agreed. But uncertainty loomed over her. Was it already too late? Could they pull this off in a matter of hours? As she stared out the window toward the fading light of the day, she felt time slipping. The next hours would be their biggest chance at defiance, but would the community stand with them? As Mia opened the door to their next steps, the heaviness of the unknown lingered, leaving her breathless. What awaited them tomorrow? What sacrifices would they need to make to save their heart? Mia felt her heart thumping louder with each passing minute. The reality of their situation pressed down on her, casting shadows in her mind. She turned to Liam, their gazes locking. We need to do this right now. Let us gather everyone we can. Meet at the center? Liam suggested, his voice steady, infused with purpose. Yes, the center. Mia nodded, adrenaline surging. We need to spread the word and get as many people there as possible. She could picture the familiar faces of neighbors, friends, and families who had poured their hearts into that place, just like she had. Liam grabbed his phone, fingers flying over the screen as he sent messages to local groups and friends. Mia felt her own fingers itching to get started, her mind racing with ideas. They had to create an event that would draw people in, a celebration, a rallying cry. Let us call it a community love fest, she blurted out, a spark of excitement igniting within her. A combination of the fundraiser and a gathering. Food, music, games. We need to show them what the center really means to us. Absolutely. We can set up a bake sale and contact local musicians to perform, Liam said. I'll ask around the neighborhood. The more involved, the better. Mia felt a thrill at the idea. They would showcase the heart and spirit of the community. Yes. And we'll create a social media event. Send flyers. Her voice trailed off, realization hitting her hard. What if nobody came? Hey, Liam said gently, noting the shift in her expression. This place matters, and people know that. You just have to believe it. She looked up at him, finding comfort in his unwavering faith. You're right. We have to believe. As they worked through the night, the sun began to rise, casting golden hues through Mia's window. She felt exhausted, but there was a new energy surging through her veins. They had reached out to everyone they could think of, and word was spreading like wildfire. She yawned and stretched, her mind drifting momentarily. What if they actually pulled this off? What if their community gathered in droves, united by love for the place that had nurtured them? The possibility was exhilarating yet terrifying. Undeterred, she grabbed her phone to check for new messages. A picture from Dave caught her eye, taken at the community center the previous night. He had been prepping for their meeting. His input was essential for their fight. They were in this together. "Liam," she called out. "Did you talk to Dave?" "Just got off the phone. He's coming with a few others from the center to help us set up." A wave of relief washed over her. "Great, that's one more person in our corner." The morning felt charged, the air crackling with anticipation. Mia could hardly contain the storm of emotions within her. She knew how much was at stake with the meeting scheduled for later that day, and her stomach knotted at the thought. As they arrived at the community center, Mia wasn't prepared for the sight that met her eyes. People were already gathering, setting up tables, hanging colorful banners with slogans of unity, love, and purpose. Her heart soared. They were here. "Look at this," Liam exclaimed, his enthusiasm contagious. "They're all coming together. It's happening." Mia smiled wide, her heart swelling with pride. She felt a sense of belonging envelop her, and a quiet voice whispered that they might just be strong enough to fight this battle. But then she saw something in the crowd that made her pulse quicken. A group of city council members approaching, their expressions unreadable. Mia's breath hitched. What are they doing here? She turned to Liam, panic creeping back in. Not sure, he replied, his face tightening. We need to stay focused. Mia straightened, summoning that spark of determination once more. Whatever they were planning, it wouldn't break her spirit. Not today. But as she moved to greet the crowd, a dark thought flickered in her mind. Were they there to halt their celebration or to hear the voices of the community? The moment felt like a tightrope walk between hope and fear. She took a deep breath, ready to speak. But would they stand with her? Would they fight back? As she prepared to step forward, the tension of anticipation crackled through the air. Who would they be facing? And what choices would be made in the heat of that moment? Mia took a step forward, her heart racing. The lively chatter of the crowd faded into a low hum, the energy shifting as the city council members approached. She instinctively straightened her shoulders, trying to exude confidence despite the uncertainty twisting in her gut. Liam stood beside her, ready to back her up. Hey, everyone. Thank you for being here today. Mia's voice rang out, catching the attention of the onlookers. We're here not just to celebrate the heart of our community, but to remind everyone of the importance of our center. She gestured to the colorful banners fluttering above. Messages of hope and togetherness splashed across them. Liam chimed in, this place has been a sanctuary for us all. We're here to show we won't let it go without a fight. Mia glanced back at the council members. They stood with crossed arms, their faces a mix of skepticism and curiosity. She could feel the weight of their gazes on her, and it made her stomach churn. What were they planning? Why here, today of all days? The crowd responded with scattered applause, and Mia felt emboldened. She turned back, scanning the faces of her friends, her neighbors, their eyes shining with determination. Encouraged, she continued, together, we can show them that this community thrives on love, support, and resilience. We cannot lose this vital piece of our lives. Yeah, someone shouted from the back, and that prompted a wave of cheers. As she spoke, Mia's confidence pooled. Her voice grew steadier, her courage solidifying moment by moment. She could feel the spirit of the community thrumming around her, mingling with hope and strength. Let us show those council members that we care about this space, she said, gesturing emphatically. We're not just here to enjoy ourselves. We're here to fight for our future. More voices joined in, chanting phrases of support. She watched as the crowd transformed. Their collective energy became undeniable, their unity a living entity. It took only a moment for Mia to realize they weren't just here for the festivity, they were here for a cause. But as the cheers echoed, the council members finally broke their silence. One of them, a man with sharp features and an impassive stare, stepped forward. And what exactly do you propose? His voice was calm but edged with a challenge. Mia's heartbeat quickened. This was the moment she had been waiting for, and yet, it felt like the ground beneath her was shifting. We want to keep this center open. We're asking for support to make it sustainable, she replied, trying to keep her voice steady. This place brings us together, builds our relationships, and nurtures our future. She could see the initial signs of doubt on his face. A good sign, she thought. The man paused, glancing at his colleagues, who whispered among themselves. The crowd watched intently, tension thick like fog. Mia felt hope mingling with anxiety. This discussion could shift everything. But then, in an unexpected turn, another council member, a woman who had remained silent until now, stepped up. Actually, we come here to evaluate the vibrancy of this community. Her tone softened slightly, the skepticism replaced with intrigue. And your passion for this place is evident. Mia felt a flicker of light in her chest. Could it really be happening? Had their efforts made an impact? But no time to dwell on thoughts. She needed to seize the moment. Then let us talk, she urged, stepping forward. Her voice projected with newfound strength. Let us find a way to ensure our center remains a vital part of the community. Liam moved closer, ready to support her. The crowd's cheers began to rise again, voices lifting together in an anthem of unity. Mia felt gratitude wash over her. These faces, filled with hope, reflected her own. Suddenly, a loud clap echoed across the crowd. It was Dave, his hands meeting with a rhythm of excitement. Let us show them what we're made of. We have ideas, we have plans, and we have heart. The crowd erupted, and Mia felt herself lifted by their energy. But in that joy, a new flutter of fear returned. What if their fire was quashed? Could one speech be enough to turn the tide? As she looked up at the council, the palpable uncertainty danced in the air. Would they move forward with open ears, or turn back with dismissive indifference? Mia's heart held its breath, anticipation gripping her tightly. Today would be a landmark moment. Did they have the courage to make their voices heard? The air buzzed with energy. Mia felt it humming through the crowd, a vibrant electric current of hope, determination, and a hint of anxiety. The council members watched, their expressions unreadable. The tension was taut, like a tightrope, and she was teetering on it, ready to plunge or soar. Liam nudged her gently, reminding her to stay grounded. He flashed a reassuring smile, urging her on. Taking a deep breath, Mia resolved to keep the momentum alive. We believe in this center, she said, her voice now carrying a timbre of authority. It's about more than just a building. It's about community. It's about everyone here, supporting one another. A spontaneous shout of agreement erupted from the back of the crowd, causing Mia's heart to swell. The energy shifted again. It felt stronger now. She scanned the faces, sparkling eyes full of hope, and that flicker ignited something deep inside her. This wasn't just a speech. It was a declaration. There are families who depend on this place. Mia continued, her voice rising. Children who play in our park. Seniors who gather for classes. This center is the thread that binds us together, and we need to ensure it thrives. More cheers echoed back, a grumbling wave of sound that rolled through the crowd. As it settled, Mia noticed a few council members leaning slightly forward, seemingly engaged, which gave her a boost of confidence. There was a shift in the air, a tangible possibility. But then she remembered the narratives of so many struggling to be heard. The stories of families that had fallen apart. People grappling with loneliness. She could channel those experiences. And it's not just about the building, Mia said, her voice steadying. It's about what we become when we are together. We play, we learn, we hope. We create a family here in this community. A family that lifts one another up. Suddenly, she felt tears prickling at the corners of her eyes. It wasn't weakness. It was strength, pure and unfettered. Vulnerability had its power too. My own family found this place when we needed it most. We weren't just looking for activities. We were searching for connection. That sentiment sent ripples through the crowd. Heads nodded, whispers of agreement floated like doves, and she could see people touching each other's arms, sharing their personal stories in silent solidarity. Emboldened, Mia whispered a brief prayer for courage and pressed onward. We come together and we should be heard. All of you out there, you matter. Your voices deserve to be recognized. So let us stand together. Let us show the council that this center is the heart of our community. With renewed vigor, cheers erupted again, louder, more united. It felt like a powerful wave, and Mia could almost see it crashing over the council members, one by one, softening their stony expressions. Hope blended into the atmosphere, and she felt it grounding her, raising her above the uncertainty. But then she caught a glimpse of the man with the sharp features again. He uncrossed his arms, his brow furrowing in thought. The silence in his gaze confused her. Maybe he said slowly, his voice breaking the churning energy of the crowd. Maybe we need to hear more. If we're looking for solutions, how do you propose to make this center sustainable? The question hung heavy in the air. Mia froze momentarily, heart pounding. This was the moment of truth, and doubt flickered through her. She had ideas, but were they enough? She took a quick glance at Liam, who gave her a small nod of encouragement. The crowd waited, breaths collectively held. Mia found her voice. We have plans. We can organize events, raise funds, and build partnerships. Anything it takes to keep this center alive. But would it be enough? The council members exchanged looks, and Mia's heart raced. Could they take her words, her passion, and turn it into real action? The tension thickened as she waited, the crowd itching with anticipation. Would they rise to the challenge, or would they let silence win? The fate of their future hung in the balance. And then, just as the energy peaked, a hand shot up from the back. Mia, it was Dave again. What about us? Are we ready to lead the charge? Mia felt a spark igniting in her chest. Don't you see? We are the charge, she shouted back. But then the question echoed in her mind, were they ready? Would the community truly rally together for the support they desperately needed? As the crowd roared in response, Mia held on to one hope: the energy in that square might just change everything. The crowd buzzed, their voices blending into a chorus of determination. Mia felt the warmth of their solidarity wash over her, and despite the anxiety pulsing in her chest, hope surged forth. She scanned the sea of familiar faces, each one a testament to the lives intertwined with the center's mission. Together, she called out, raising her arms high, we can create something beautiful, a place filled with laughter, learning, and love. It's not just about surviving, it's about thriving. A wave of cheers rippled through the crowd, voices lifting like a flock of birds taking flight. But even as exhilaration bloomed, Mia's thoughts darted to the council members. They remained a row of guarded expressions, skepticism still etched on their faces. A quick glance at Liam told her he was aware too. His brows were drawn tight, concern shadowing the optimism he had fed her moments ago. Then the sharp-featured man spoke again. You might inspire them, but how do you plan to inspire us to invest? People like us don't give without serious return. The challenge sent another pulse of doubt through Mia. What were they getting from this? She remembered the countless stories she had heard of how the center had transformed lives. But could she translate that into something a council member like him would understand? A little voice in her head whispered, don't let them see you falter. We'll show you the return. Her voice rang out, filled with defiance. This has to be seen as an investment in the future. The children we empower today will grow up to be leaders tomorrow. It's a ripple effect. People who gain skills will increase productivity, reducing costs for our community down the line. She saw a few nods from the audience and felt a surge of energy. Yes, this was the right angle. This was about futures, families, and a thriving community. Mia pressed on. We could host workshops on budgeting, adult education classes for job skills, and community events that draw in foot traffic, generating interest and revenue. It's sustainable because it's rooted in us, the people of this town. As she spoke, she caught sight of a familiar face, a single mother, juggling work and her children. Mia's heart swelled again. She could feel the passion pulling her through the daunting challenge. People want to help. They just need a little nudge. Let us give them something to believe in. Together we can create an advisory board made up of those who rely on the center, real voices of our community. Murmurs floated through the crowd. The idea seemed to land. The man's expression was thoughtful now, almost intrigued. And then, as if summoned by the spotlight, a voice rang out from the back. Well, how do we make sure this actually works? What about the funding? Mia turned toward the speaker, her heart racing. We can launch a fundraiser, a community-sponsored initiative. We can seek donations from local businesses and connect with larger nonprofit organizations. Pulses of murmured agreement floated through the crowd, empowering her words. People will stand behind this. They want to see change, but we need their support to make it happen. The sharp-featured man nodded slowly. You're proposing a risk, but it's not without merit. However, are all of you truly committed? And just like that, the gravity of the moment settled heavily around them. Mia turned back to the crowd. Their faces were illuminated with hope, and she felt the flicker of voices rising again. Yes, we are committed. She breathed in the energy around her, ready to harness it. And when the crowd erupted with affirmation, it felt electric. But in the corners of her mind, doubts fluttered, pulling at her belly. Could they really do this? Were they ready for the movement she envisioned? Just as she began to think they might take a step forward, another voice cut through, heavy with gravity. Mia came the voice of a respected elder. Are we prepared to challenge each other enough to grow? As the crowd silenced, the question hung in the air. It was a challenge, a call to action. Mia felt the pulse of possibility rising. Again, longing for something more than a mere proposal to survive. Could they not only dream but push one another to achieve? Holding on to that wave of optimism, she replied with conviction. Yes, together we can challenge ourselves to reach new heights. Let us break the barriers together. The crowd surged again, but Mia stood still, heart pounding. There were sacrifices ahead. This was just the beginning. Building a community was hard work. But if they all felt that spark and amidst the clamor, her thoughts flickered to the man with sharp features again. Did she see a glimmer of hope reflected in his eyes? A new wave of doubt blossomed in her mind. What if their dreams fell flat? What if they reached for the stars and all they found were the ashes of what could have been? As the crowd roared, Mia felt the weight of possibility pressing down. Would she lead them to victory or blindness? Could they really rise to the occasion? In that electric atmosphere, uncertainty lingered like a scent after the rain. And as she took another steady breath, she wondered, could their hearts pull together to weave something that truly held? The energy in the air crackled. Mia glanced around, absorbing the atmosphere. The doubts swirling inside her felt heavy, yet she couldn't ignore the fire igniting in the crowd. People believed. They wanted to invest in their future. But was it safe? With the elder's question echoing in her mind, she thanked the universe for their presence there today. Each person stood like a thread, ready to weave together a stronger community tapestry. But like weaving, it required skill, patience, and commitment. How many would stay when the thread began to fray? Let us hear from those who need this the most, Mia suggested, trying to keep the momentum building. She felt their strength. If you're out there right now, working hard but struggling to get by, please share your experiences. What does this center mean to you? A ripple of whispers passed. Then a woman stepped forward, her hands trembling. I work 2 jobs and have 2 kids. She began, her voice steady but shaky. I want better for them, but I can't provide it when I'm just trying to put food on our table. The crowd leaned in, their expressions shifting to empathy. This was their reality. I come here for help, for support, to figure out how to make it all work. She continued. This center has been a lifeline. Can't lose it. Mia felt tears prickling at the corners of her eyes. This was the truth, the heart of why they were fighting. Mia turned to the council members, gauging their reactions. She needed them to see what she saw, the raw, real essence of community struggling against the odds. Anyone else? She encouraged, her voice stronger now, more determined. It took a moment, but another voice piped up. A teenager, wearing a faded hoodie adorned with logos of youth outreach programs. I come here because I want to learn. I want to code and paint and create. But without resources, it's hard to find hope, he said, gaze darting around the faces in the crowd. This center gives me that chance. If it's gone, what do I have? Mia's heart swelled. Each voice was another thread in the tapestry, adding weight to their cause. This wasn't just a fight for funding. It was a fight for lives, for futures. The sharp-featured man shifted, brow furrowing deeper. I need to know, he began, his voice less confrontational now. How are you planning to maintain this once you get the funding? Mia's heart dropped into her stomach. They needed to craft something sustainable, something that wouldn't crumble under pressure. What could she say that would tilt the scales in her favor? Part of the plan is mentorship, she said slowly, choosing her words carefully. We'll create a model that involves community leaders helping to guide growth. It's not about just pouring money in. It's about building a support system, a network. Everyone is invested when they feel valued. There were murmurs of agreement. Someone from the crowd shouted, "Count me in. I'll volunteer." And another joined, "Me too." Buoyed by the response, Mia stepped forward, heart racing. This isn't about just me leading. This is about all of us working together. Who's ready to roll up their sleeves and be part of this journey? A chorus of cheers rose, pushing her spirits higher. The council members exchanged glances. She could feel the wall between them beginning to crack, ever so slightly. But just then, a loud voice boomed from the back, freezing her in place. What if we fail? What if we don't have what it takes? Is it worth risking everything we have? Silence fell. The fear laid bare felt almost tangible. A clenching uncertainty hung in the air. Mia stood tall, mustering her courage. Every journey starts with risk, she said slowly, scanning the crowd, feeling their eyes searching for answers. But if we never take that first step, we'll never reach the next destination. Together, we can embrace failure as part of learning. We can rise from it. As she spoke, the doubts within her began to fade. She'd taken a leap, and now the fall was terrifying yet exhilarating. Would they embrace her vision? Would they be able to turn their dreams into reality? The moment electrified, caught in the balance of possibility and fear. Just then, Liam caught her eye, and she saw in him the unwavering belief that they could build something beautiful together. The sharp-featured man looked thoughtful. Was there a hint of admiration there? It felt like a breath away from radical change as the crowd hung in rapt anticipation. Will we do this together? Mia called out into the sea of hopeful faces, her voice rising above the stillness. But in the silence that followed, the weight of uncertainty pressed down on her once more. Would the dreams of a better future be enough to link their hearts? All at once, the sharp-featured man cleared his throat, and for the first time, a smile crossed his lips. Let us see how committed you really are. Let us see how committed you really are. Mia's heart dropped, the sudden tension gripping her yet again. What did that mean? She searched the faces in the crowd, uncertainty mingling with hope. Each person was a thread woven into the fabric of this moment. They had come together, and now that collective energy surged like a pulse between them. The sharp-featured councilman lifted a hand, calling for quiet. I see passion in what you say, but emotion alone isn't enough. His voice was firm but lacked the harshness Mia first perceived. We need a concrete plan to ensure the center thrives beyond just one event. Sustainability is key. Mia stood taller, strengthened by his shift in tone. I understand. We're prepared to create a model involving mentorship, fundraising, community partnerships. We need proof. He interrupted, his gaze piercing her but softened at the edges. We will give you a chance. But you will need to present that plan, not just to us but to the entire community. Show them how committed you are, how much this is worth fighting for. The crowd stirred, excitement bubbling. Mia's mind raced with ideas and plans, a whirlwind of possibilities crashing like waves against the shore. We will, she declared, her voice steadying. We'll show you all how much this center means to our lives and our future. A ripple of encouragement pulsed through the crowd, resonating with her determination. Let us collaborate. We'll organize workshops, community engagement events, enlist volunteers. But it starts today. Let us do it together. Yes. Someone from the audience shouted, their voice laced with fervor. Others joined in, igniting the spark of action. The energy crackled, the crowd uniting, ready to carry this momentum forward. Liam stepped up beside her, eyes glimmering with conviction. We'll organize a town hall meeting to solidify our commitment. Our message will resonate loud. You won't see this community back down. Mia smiled, inspiration soaring within her. Together, let us brainstorm together. But then a small voice chimed in from the back, a little girl with wide eyes. What if we raise money in ways that show our talents? Like performances, art, things we can share? Mia's heart soared. This was the essence of community spirit. Yes, we can set up showcases. Let us highlight the heart of our community. We'll show what we all stand to lose. The crowd erupted into a frenzy of excited chatter as ideas began flying. My sister can bake. We could do a bake sale. We can perform dance routines. Let us host a talent show. I'll paint banners for the event. Mia felt tears prick at her eyes. This was more than just a fight for a center. It was a cohesive vision rallying every heart in that space. By offering glimpses of themselves, they could remind everyone of their communal canvas, a place stitched together with laughter, effort, and love. The council members watched, expressions shifting as the momentum built, turning earnest faces into smiles that hinted at hope. The sharp-featured man turned to his colleagues and nodded, signaling encouragement. All right, let us coordinate, he said, a warmth radiating from his genuine acknowledgement. But remember this, actions speak louder than words. You'll need to show your commitment. Mia felt a shiver of exhilaration. We will. Tomorrow, we'll begin planning the festival. Everyone can contribute, and together we'll organize it to show just how much this place means to us all. Cheers erupted from the crowd like fireworks lighting up the sky, voices strong and vibrant. As the energy crescendoed, something shifted within her. The overwhelming fear that had haunted all her efforts began to fade. She was no longer just a girl with a small box. She was part of something grand and transformative, a community bonded by shared love and purpose. As people began to disperse, Mia felt a hand on her shoulder. It was Liam, beaming with pride. You were incredible, he said. You've ignited something powerful here. Together we can achieve this. Her heart soared with gratitude as she looked around at the faces of her friends, family, and neighbors, ready to rise for what truly mattered. They would fight together, overcome every hurdle, and defy every challenge. As the sun set, casting a golden glow over the center, Mia felt a rush of hope. Tomorrow would be the first step toward something beautiful, and together, they would see it through. Let us make that community love fest the best it can be, she shouted joyfully, and amid cheers and laughter, she felt an undeniable strength ripple through her. They stood not just for a building but for each other, every dream and heart sewn into the fabric of their community. And in that moment, she knew this was just the beginning. They had all the power needed to change their story, embrace resilience, and transform their lives together. So what are you waiting for? Be part of this journey. You need to subscribe now to join us for more heartwarming transformations. This is the moment to show your support. Smash that like button now to feed the algorithm. Comment your reactions and feelings about this emotional ending. You've got to share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Don't wait not even one more second. Join the movement today.